So we know that globally the impact of aquatic environmental pollution is being seen through a variety of disturbing symptoms, including an worldwide decline and collapse of fisheries. According to the World Health Organization, while a combination of factors, most notably overfishing, are to blame, algal pollution is undoubtedly a significant contributor. Though we know that the microscopic planktonic algae are critical food for commercially important crustaceans and fishes. However, in some situations, algal blooms can have a negative effect, causing severe economic losses to aquaculture and fisheries and having major environmental and human health impacts. There are about 5,000 species of marine phytoplankton, of which there are about 300 species can at times occur in such high numbers that they obviously discolor the surface of the sea, so-called red tides. And though there are about 300 species have the capacity to produce harmful algal blooms, there are about 45 to 50 species have the capacity to produce potent toxins that can find their way through the food chain to humans, causing a variety of gastrointestinal and neurological illnesses like paralytic shellfish poisoning, diabetic shellfish poisoning, amnesic shellfish poisoning, etc. So here we can see a photograph of red tide. What is red tide? The phenomenon red tide refers to blooms of toxic microorganisms causing a death of marine fishes, not freshwater, causing a death of marine fishes, invertebrates and seabirds, and is usually accompanied by discolored seawater. Here we can now list some harmful algal blooms, that means HALBs, in Bangladesh. In fact, harmful algal blooms and problems with HALBs was an unknown phenomenon in Bangladesh. Fish mortality and ulcerated fishes are common along the coast of the Bay of Bengal. In 1996, large-scale deaths of different species of marine fishes was caused by unknown regions in different parts of the Bay of Bengal. And it was believed and reported in the newspaper that the incident was probably connected with the dumping of rotten garlic from ship in the sea. And after 2 years of that event, that means we started a phytoplankton monitoring program in 1998 in the Maheshkali channel of the Bay of Bengal. There was another incident in the Bay of Bengal in 1998, and due to heavy blooms of dinoflagellates, large number of fishes died in 1998. But due to the lack of knowledge, it was also again believed that the incident was probably connected with the dumping of rotten rice, not suitable for human consumption, which was dumped in deep sea 20 days before of this event. Here we can, but from our monitoring program, we found an unexpected heavy bloom of Dinophysis cordata. This is really very much toxic one. During that incident of mass mortality of fishes, here we can see the species of Dinophysis cordata, and really this is very common in our country. That means in different parts of the Bay of Bengal. We think previous all incidents of mass mortality to fishes due to harmful toxic phytoplankton bloom, but due to lack of knowledge in this field and absence of phytoplankton research in this area, they are not reported before. Harmful algae in coastal waters of Bangladesh, in fact, they are very common, but in total, we collected and identified in total 91 species from different parts of the Bay of Bengal. Okay, so here we can see most common two groups of toxic phytoplankton in Bangladesh. One group is dinoflagellate and another one is diatom. And 3 types of harmful algal blooms available in Bangladesh. And the first group is, there are some species which can produce basically harmless, not harmful, which can produce basically harmless water discoloration, and sometimes they can cause indiscriminate kills of fishes and invertebrates due to oxygen depletion. And for instance, Goniulus polygramma, here we can see the bloom of, or we can see algal blooms or red tide of Goniulus polygramma, and here we can see most mortality of fishes due to red tide of Goniulus polygramma. Here another example is Noctilucus scintillans. This one also is very toxic, and this is very common in our country, which can produce citrus frequently from spring to summer in many parts of the world. Here we can see the bloom of Noctilucus scintillans and mass mortality of fishes due to Noctilucus scintillans, and these bloom forming species are frequently associated with fish and marine invertebrate mortality throughout the world, and the fish kill caused by the species are due to hypoxia or anoxia. And here species, second group of harmful algal blooms, that means there are some species very common in our country also. They are non-toxic to humans, but they are harmful to fishes and invertebrates because they can kill fishes and invertebrates by clogging or damaging their gills. For example, Chaetoceros convolutus and Chaetoceros concavicornis. And we know that these are associated with mortality of penrare salmon in different parts of the world. And here, this is mass mortality of fishes due to Chaetoceros convolutus. And this diatom, that means these two species of diatom have sharp spines that can seriously damage the lamellae of fish gills at concentration of even less than 5 cells per ml. The damage is sufficient to give rise to increased fish mortality. And the Chaetoceros is a centric diatom with very lightly silicified frustules. Each frustules have 4 long spines. Some are thicker and some are thinner. So here, thinner spines in the middle of the chain and thicker spine in chain. And these thicker spine and thinner spines, they just link the frustules together to form colonies of several cells. And the last group of harmful algal blooms and the most dangerous groups of harmful algal blooms, there are some species which can produce potent toxins that can find their way through the food chain to humans, causing a variety of gastrointestinal and neurological illnesses like PSP, DSP, ESP, NSP, CFP, etc. And some common species in Bangladesh responsible for paralytic shellfish poisoning, and members of some dinoflagellate like Alexandrium, different species of Alexandrium, Pyrodinium, Gymnodinium can produce toxins that are responsible for the worldwide occurrences of PSP in humans and marine animals. And PSP appear in Japan, Canada, US, Australia, and in many other countries every year, and in some cases cause death of human beings. Maybe you are thinking that how is it possible to kill a human being by microscopically? Yes, it is also possible. I will tell about that later. Here, we can see some species. Some species common in Bay of Bengal, Bangladesh, responsible for ASP. That means responsible for amnesic shellfish poisoning. And this is a serious and life-threatening human illness that can cause permanent or short-term memory loss. And why the name is like this, amnesic shellfish poisoning, because this name came from amnesia. Amnesia means a partial or total memory loss, as it can cause permanent or short-term memory loss. That's why this is amnesic shellfish poisoning. And ASP, that means amnesic shellfish poisoning, can be induced by conjunction of the marine biotoxin called domoic acid. What is domoic acid? Domoic acid is a naturally occurring amino acid with neotoxic properties and which is produced by marine diatoms belonging to the genus Pseudonistia. That means different species of Pseudonistia like Pseudonistia multiceres and Pseudonistia punctans. There are about 40 species of Pseudonistia which are very harmful and which can produce domoic acid, and some species of Pseudonistia are very common in all different parts of the Bay of Bengal. And in fact, amnesic shellfish poisoning was first reported in 1987 in Prince Edward Island, Canada. And when 3 people died and over 100 people became ill after consuming cooked mussel, here we can see this was very popular in developed countries, and Pseudonesia marcescens was responsible for that incident. And here, maybe many people, many general people, it is really very difficult for them to believe that how is it possible to kill a human being by microscopically? Yes. So here, I would like to show you how is it possible algal toxin can kill a human being. One of the most serious impact of harmful algal blooms occurs when mussels, crabs, oysters, scallops ingest the toxin producing phytoplankton as their food and retain the toxins in their tissue. Typically, the shellfish are only marginally affected by the toxin, but sometimes only a single shellfish can accumulate enough toxin to kill a human being. So here we can see here some toxin producing phytoplankton, and then shellfish are eating the toxic algae, toxin producing algae, and they can retain the toxins in their body. Typically, the shellfishes are only marginally affected by the toxins, but sometimes only a single shellfish can accumulate enough toxin to kill a human being. Okay. So, marine fisheries in Bangladesh. We know that marine fisheries have always played a dominant role in the economy, culture and tradition of the people of Bangladesh. It is therefore very important that the resource base shouldn't be damaged or destroyed. But unfortunately, marine pollution is becoming more common and producing increasingly aggressive marine fisheries. And we should start to respond to this problem as such. In Bangladesh, we urgently need a thorough investigation of harmful algal blooms in Bay of Bengal if we want to get success in our blue economy program. This is really very, very important. So if we want to get success of our blue economy program, then we must control our marine pollution, and then we must control our harmful algal blooms. Finally, I would like to say something in my conclusion. Harmful algal blooms are a recognized global problem for blue economy, as there are reports of more toxic algal species, more fishes resources affected, more human disease due to algal toxins, and more economic losses from HAPs than ever before, as there are reports of more toxic algal species, more fishes resources affected, more human diseases due to algal toxins, and more economic losses from HAPs than ever before. And here, what we are faced with today is that the impact of harmful algal blooms on fisheries and human health are now showing signs of a truly global epidemic, and we should start to respond to this problem as such. Finally, at the end of my speech, I would like to say that we should try our best to keep our aquatic environment safe from any hazards, the final goal of which is to increase the production of fishes, conserve and manage fishes resources, to sustain benefits for the present and future generations, to increase overall